Hello, friends, and welcome to the premiere episode of Express Lane, the show that brings you speedruns in 60 minutes or less. I'm your host, Oscar424, with occasional random barking appearances from Galahad and Freya. And honestly, the premise of the show, pretty simple. If you have a run that takes less than an hour or so to complete, doesn't matter the genre, doesn't matter the category, you've got a home for it here. But first, I do have a few announcements for you. Now, I can't really compete with National Emoji Day. Thanks, Midnight Vesper. But I do have the fact that it's National Peach Ice Cream Day. So yay! The chat, you can feel free to tell me what your favorite ice cream, your favorite dessert, or your favorite snack is. And in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about Frame Fatales. So Frame Fatales is Games Done Quick's all-women online speedrunning community. And our upcoming event, Flame Fatales, is actually going to run from August 13th to the 20th. The schedule's out now at gamesdonequick.com/schedule. And while you're checking out that schedule, feel free to submit a prize or two for the event. To do so, all you need to do is type !FF in Twitch chat to submit your prizes. But you gotta hurry up because the last day to submit those prizes is actually August 6th. But, words are hard, it's Monday. Speaking of Flame Fatales though, in honor of this upcoming marathon, I decided to get together a group of amazing women here today to showcase what they do best in this wonderful Fast Fatales episode. And honestly, with a show that has a highway theme, I think it would make sense to start off with, let's see here. Start off with a racing game. So first in lane, we've got Karaoke and her run of Chocobo Racing. So Karaoke, how you doing today? Mood right there. It was some fun, tactical. Monday is playing Monday things with OBS right now.
That should be better. All right. OBS decided that my mic didn't exist, but now it exists again. So,
nothing
hi.
Wrong with that.
As Asuka said, I'm Karaoke, and I'm going to be playing Chocobo Racing. Not the Chocobo Racing that you might think of when playing Final Fantasy VII, but this Chocobo Racing for PS1. Also, I have a Japanese version because why not? It's also cheaper.
Yeah, you need to tell me about that when you start running about the difference
definitely.
right there. But
so I'm going to go load into the game, loading my save file so we can skip the story because we're doing a story mode speedrun. I'm going to verify that I got all the settings correct for this. I do. All right, and I will count you down to start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
All right, very important menus right there. We want to start from the beginning. We don't have a save file to start from, but we don't want to read the story because reading the story takes time.
Wait, story in a speedrun? Who does that?
Nah, yeah, you try not to.
I'm more impressed with story in a racing game, if nothing else.
This story is actually quite adorable. So first off, normal racing game mechanics. If you've played Mario Kart, if you've played Diddy Kong Racing, you know how this works. You press you press your gas button as the timer's counting down, and you start with a boost. I kind of do a little 1 and 2 and 3 E and for those music nerds out there, 16th notes to get my timing right. At the top left of the screen, we'll have the ability meter. Every character comes with an ability, and in this game, you can mix and match which character you use and which abilities they have. Chocobo's default ability is the dash ability. It's the equivalent of a haste 2 spell. We'll be seeing spells later as the story mode goes on. So very basic track, no opponents. We're just sticking to the inside curve. We could use a little strategy called, I like to call it a spin boosting, where you can spin yourself out, point yourself in the right direction, and right before you completely spin out, you can get a boost to go faster. Important menus coming up. Don't want to save. Yes, I want to continue playing. And no, I don't want to read the story. Every race has that menu right there. So if people here watched Summer Games Done Quick last year, you might have seen a race of a game called Chocobo GP run by Groggy Dog and Obio. That is like the sequel/spiritual sequel to this game. Released on Switch. That didn't do too well because of some decisions by Square, but now you can just go ahead and buy the game and get the entire game, all the characters, all the tracks, all the carts and everything for just the price of the game instead of having to kind of piecemeal it out like they originally had. So yeah, it was a kind of a neat return to this little sub-franchise of the Final Fantasy series. So here we're having our first magic crystals, and this is where I like to compare the game to Diddy Kong Racing more than Mario Kart, because you can stack your magic up to 3 times, very similar to stacking your balloons in Diddy Kong Racing. So every time you stack the same magic, except for a couple specific magics we'll see later, it'll level up and it just goes longer, it's more powerful, etc., etc. I missed one there. That's okay, though. We're only going to be using, we're going to space out these ones at the end because of the haste crystal. Or the haste ability, the dash ability, that thing. So obviously haste 2, haste 3, makes you go fast. It's going to be the main magic for this game that we're going to be picking up along the way.
I also like the multiple shout-outs in chat to the Chocobo and the roller skates being absolutely cute.
That is the best thing about both Chocobo Racing and Chocobo GP is that Chocobo, this is the style of Chocobo used in like Chocobo's Dungeon, Final Fantasy Fables, that kind of those kind of spin-off games. Also, the Alpha and Omega side quest in Final Fantasy XIV was also a callback to this Chocobo design, and kind of bringing this cute little guy back. But yeah, in both Chocobo Racing and Chocobo GP, the Chocobo uses roller skates with rockets on them. And the story mode, like I was explaining earlier, it's a very cute story, pretty standard, go make friends along the way and have a nice little racing adventure sort of story, but it's told in the style of a pop-up storybook, which is very similar to the way that Chocobo GP also told its story, kind of a pop-up book style with a lot of Final Fantasy references in it. All the music tracks here are remixes from previous Final Fantasy games, including ones that hadn't come out in the US at that point. So some of the tracks you listen to and go, I've never heard this song before. Where did that come from? And it's from like Final Fantasy 3 or something.
Oh, wow.
So going here, we got pretty good luck with our magics, as you saw there, the fire magic was introduced in this level, and it also introduced those question mark blocks, which will give you 1 random magic from any of the available ones at the time. And as we progress through each stage, we're going to get new magics added and new characters added. As we can see that Mog joined us after the 2nd race, and Golem joined us after the 3rd race. Something special about this and Chocobo GP as well, you only have to beat the owner of the track to progress in story mode. Oh, Chocobo GP, some of the later battles you do have to place in first. But in this game completely through, you only have to defeat the owner of the track to progress through story mode. So here, we only have to defeat Goblin. Goblin is a very annoying character because his special ability is called Mug, and it will steal your farthest back magic crystal. So that is why I'm using my haste crystals as soon as I pick them up, instead of holding on to them, because he'll just steal them. The magic in this level is Blizzard, and it kind of works as both like a water and a blizzard spell, where it'll leave little puddles on the track, like bloop, and make you spin out if you run over them. And then farther levels up will actually like encase the person ahead of you in a ice block and make them spin out.
So with this race or game in particular, the when you collide into objects or the walls, like how badly does that affect your speed? Because I know in some games it can get pretty bonkers.
Yeah, it can knock it down pretty far, especially if you do more than just clip the edges there. So as you can see, it kind of knocked me down a good 10 miles an hour there, depending. You can get stuck on some of the geometry sometimes on some of those tight curves. As each stage goes on, you'll be seeing they're getting more and more complex. More curves, more opportunities to drop off, more times to get stuck. So in this next stage, we're actually going to play as Goblin for one stage so that we can avoid Goblin being an opponent because the AI can't use the same character that you're using. So that'll prevent Goblin from being an AI character, therefore we don't need to use Mug. We won't need to dodge Mug, rather. We can just keep our haste crystals instead. So other character abilities, because every character has their own specific ability, and we're just using Goblin and Dash right now because we can mix and match in this game. You can't mix and match in Chocobo GP, which is why we just use Chocobo in that game. So as you can see here, I got both a lightning and a haste. I'm going to use that. I wanted to use that other lightning. We'll use this other haste here because you can't. It won't stack, so you got multiple ones trailing behind you there. So Moogle's ability is Flap, and it lets him hover above the track. Kind of overall useless. And I grabbed two there, and they both weren't hastes. Golem's ability is Grip, which lets you grip the track better, which is good for characters who have bad handling. And Black Mage's ability is Double Magic. So every time the ability bar charges, it will level up any magic, the farthest back magic, by 1 level for Black Mage.
So that crystal you just picked up, it looked like it had a fire and then it switched to the arrow. Is that something that it just does automatically, or did you
I used it really quickly.
That makes sense.
Cage. Okay. So there, I got 2 behind me. I got both haste and ice behind me, so I'm just going to use the ice. It'll disappear, so I can have the haste instead. And it's being mean, I use the lightning, and we're going to use this haste right at the end here to noom forward. That was a very good Black Magic level. Sometimes Black Mage can get, sometimes Black Mage can acquire magic a lot and just blast you, and you get carded. But that won't happen anymore because we're going to be using Black Mage for the rest of the game until the final level. For one very important reason. And Netka's he a floaty boy.
He's got a Nimbus Cloud. I love this.
So both Black Mage and White Mage and a later character, the final character we face in the story, all have innate float. So they can't be affected by level 1 and 2 blizzard spells, or level 1 and 2 ice spells. They'll just float right over them. They're also not affected by grass on the side of the road, so it won't slow them down. This is important in the next level, where there's a required section that's over a quote-unquote grass section. They won't lose speed over that area. Here we are in White Mage's level, and the magic on this level is Mini, and it bonk you on the head and make you tiny, and slows you down. So you might notice that I pull very far ahead. I'm not really getting contested too much by the AI, and that is because I have what's called handicap mode on. It's a thing in the options that's good, if you're a beginner player, or you want to give your younger sibling a chance to beat you. Turn handicap mode on, it makes you go faster by a good 10-20 miles an hour or more, something like that. There is 2 different categories for story mode, one with handicap on, one with handicap off. And there we saw Mug in action. My haste crystal got stolen right from under my schnozzle.
And forgive me if you said that, but does Mug only attack the first place person, or is it random? Or is it everybody?
I think it's the first place person, but it could just be someone ahead of you. I haven't really used Goblin with Mug or anyone with Mug in so long to experiment with that.
No, that's fair.
But it's always going to be you if you have one, because that's how AI be in these games.
Oh, 100%. I want to know, who is that person in the picture with the weird bangs giving the thumbs up, talking about story mode?
Oh, in the background there?
Yes.
Oh, that's Sid.
That's it.
Yep, that's Sid.
Of course it's Sid. Oh.
That is Sid in his design from the Chocobo. I know it's the same design as Chocobo Dungeon 2. I don't know if it's the same design. I don't remember if he's in Chocobo Dungeon 1. I think he's in a different design in that game. I've never played the first Chocobo Dungeon because it's only in Japanese and I don't own a copy of it. And I've only seen a few speedruns of it.
Fair.
Chocobo GP has a lot of references to the first Chocobo Dungeon game that are just kind of confusing I made it okay. That was kind of scary. If you're actually triple mini there, that is a gap and you'll just fall down. Right here, this whole blue section here is that grass, quote unquote grass I was talking about that slows all the other racers down, but we don't care because we're floaty. Oh. And we are just getting bonked on the head. We're just getting bonked on the head. We are tiny. We're small.
Oh,
so small.
So precious. I see what you mean by just how slow that makes you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, luckily haste and your dash ability will actually completely overwrite mini, so I'll be going the maximum amount of speed even though I am small. So this track here specifically was the track for the demo version of the game that came on some PlayStation magazine. I don't remember which one. There were so many back in the day. But I had a demo disc with this and Pen Try Icelon and a few other games on it. And I played this demo so much until the game came out. So this is my favorite level in the game because of that.
Love that.
Yeah, I don't know if there's some people in chat. Back in the day, we didn't download our demos from the internet. We had to buy these things on the newsstand at the grocery store called magazines, and they would sometimes come with a CD in them. That's what you put in the PlayStation. And they would have little snippets of games that you could play and try out while you're waiting for the game to actually come out, because also back in that day, games took a lot longer to come over from Japan. It would be 1 or 2 years sometimes.
Oh, what was it? Final Fantasy VII's demo disc that had like Xenogears, Parasite Eve, Brave Fencer Musashi, or something. It's like I literally played that disc until it did not work anymore, and that is why I fell in love with Xenogears. Also, while there's also people also commenting on their back pain, which I agree with on that one. I did see a question in chat specifically for you. Do you happen to have love for Final Fantasy VII because of this game? Or did you find Chocobo Racing because of the love for FF7?
Oh, man. I'm trying to think, because I got my PS1 in, I think, Christmas 2000 is when I got it. So Final Fantasy VII had been out for a while by then. I wasn't actually much of an RPG fan until around that time, because my first PS1 games were Spyro, Crash 2, and The Game of Life. Oh, also we don't have Goblin on this stage. I can just hold my haste, which is neat. I don't remember, because I did eventually get Final Fantasy VII, but I can't remember if it was before or after this game. Because I'm pretty sure I just played this demo disc and I was like, oh, this is cute and I like racing games. And this also has a preview video on the disc for Chocobo's Dungeon 2. And that's how I found about Chocobo's Dungeon 2, was the preview movie on this disc.
Oh, I love that.
So I don't remember when I found out about Final Fantasy VII. I also don't think I ever reached the gold saucer in Final Fantasy VII until like my actual playthrough where I finished the game, because when I did get Final Fantasy VII, I also got the player's guide for it. And for anyone that remembers the Brady Games strategy guide for Final Fantasy VII, you might know that a couple pages spoil a certain part of the story.
Yeah, it does. With pictures?
With pictures. I taped those pages shut. I was mad because it was my first video game crush.
Oh no! It's like, how dare you use our guide?
Yep, how dare you read ahead to prepare for what's happening next. Here's plot. And that's why I didn't finish Final Fantasy VII until like 2009.
Oh wow. Also, side note, we seem to have opened up the Wayback Machine. We're talking about our Ataris and black and white TVs. In my case, I'll add the channels that signed off for the night to the national anthem.
Oh, man.
That was my childhood.
I'm actually playing this on CRT right now.
Yes! That's fantastic.
All right, we're. I know we're having fun with nostalgia and everything, but we are actually on the final track of the game now. I'm switching to Mog because Mog can control a little bit tighter on some of these curves.
Leviathan says hi.
Yeah, all the summon beasts are here.
Oh heck.
So this is the final track. This is also the only major difference between the English and Japanese versions of this game. The Japanese version has no guardrails. So hope you're good at making all these tight turns, because you will just do that. I did that on purpose. I'm trying to take the shortcut here, but you can just easily just go yeet at every corner if you're not good at controlling yourself. The other major difference, we have goblins, we do gotta use everything right away. The other major difference, obviously, is the Japanese version measures speed in kilometers per hour. And the language is not in English.
Fair.
Okay, I'm gonna be watching the timer very closely on this race. And, okay. Every 45 seconds, roughly, Bahamut uses Mega Flare. Mega Flare is undodgeable, except if you yeet yourself off the edge of the race. And the time it takes for Sid to repair your cart and put you back on the track is less than it takes to recover from Mega Flare.
My jaw hangeth. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I forget when I found that out. I've been speedrunning this game for a very long time. I started speedrunning in 2006, and this was my second speed game. So it's probably around 2008 or so, maybe 9 when I started speedrunning this game.
Oh, wow.
And yeet. So you can also tell when a character is using an ability or a spell by the head at the middle of the screen where the little icons are. It'll start bobbing up and down. That's my other tell for when the ability is happening. And we are on the final lap here.
Nice.
Also, the final magic we got in this stage is Ultima. It hits everybody and either spins them out or blows them up.
Oh, nice. Also, this remix or version of the song slaps.
Okay, we're just gonna get double blown up there. Kablank. Kablank. Okay. Can we hit it? Oh, okay. We got it once. That's good. And we get ultimate again. Okay. I'm not gonna use my dash yet because Bahamut's gonna hit at 225. Yeet. And we'll dash here. All right. The final Mega Flare that you might see is at 314. I always remember that one because pi.
Yeah.
But we are going to finish the race before then. And we're going to spin out, hit one last hazard there, one last reflect for dodging, and time. good yeet at the end by the AI there.
Perfect eat right there. GG's.
So I'm just going to speed through a little bit of the ending here. If you haven't heard this ending theme, they did translate it fully into English, so this is sung in English. It's a very beautiful song. The credits are adorable. Please go look them up on YouTube. Or I think a lot of my videos for this speedrun, actually, I leave the credits in when I get PB, so maybe some of my videos of that have it. But we're going to skip it for time so I can show what happens when you beat story mode.
Ooh.
So depending on how well you do during story mode, if you lose a few races, if you take too long, you get a score with points. We got 100 points because we went really fast. And we got first place, first try every single time, all that. And these points can be used to build a racer. So it gives you the 8 default racers. Obviously, you unlock Bahamut at the end. We'll also pick him. And you can choose a color for your racer. We'll choose a nice, silvery dragon. And all those points can be spent into parameters to make make a special racer. So you can give him speed, acceleration, grip drift, and ability gauge speed. We'll just give him nothing. It's actually kind of funny to show a nothing character because they just crawl along the track like a snail, and give him a name. You can save him to your memory card if you want to. I don't have any room on this memory card, so I can't save him. And then you can bring that racer and race them in the Grand Prix mode and the time attack and all those. We have a category for time attack for custom racers and all that. There's a lot of different like single level categories and different things in that. And also on top of that, after you beat story mode a few times, you can unlock different characters, including Bahamut, Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, Cloud, Sid's Tank, the Moomba from Final Fantasy VIII, because Final Fantasy VIII was on its way out at this time, Cactuar, Classic Chocobo, Aya from, I think it's from Parasite Eve, SS Invincible from Final Fantasy III, Jack is from some other Square Enix game that I can't remember. Cloud is here somewhere. I forget where, which button combination. I'm pressing the shoulder button. There, I saw him there. Cloud's there somewhere, pressing buttons on here. And then also you unlock the Final Fantasy VIII circuit track after beating the game. I think once or twice or something. It's the hardest track in the game. Yeah, and there's also mirror mode and all kinds of fun things for this game. I was joking earlier before during setup, that this game could have been run on Bargain Bin, like, probably 10 years ago at this point, because this game was very cheap, and now it costs like $80 for a full copy. If you can play the Japanese games, just import the Japanese version, it's like $5.
No, that's fair. But yeah, GG's, Karaoke. Where can they find you on the wonderful internet?
I am Karaoke everywhere on the internet. If you see that username, it is 95% me. I don't stream super often. I will be doing some derusting of actually Chocobo GP for Flame Fatales next month, because I'm running that. So come watch that. Other than that, you'll probably see me again maybe a few other times streaming, but I'm picking up a new speed game in November, and then I'll really be back.
Yay! All right, well, thank you for that awesome literal race. That was so cute and I love it. Before we head out for a quick hydration break, I did just want to remind you that all of your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So please, please, please consider subscribing if you enjoy watching the daily speedrunning content. But with that, go get some quick hydration, do a good stretch and a quick scratch, and we will be right back with some more Express Lane. Hello and welcome back to Express Lane. Now, we're doing something a little bit different this time. I know we did a speed run before, but how about we do some speed training? So yeah, surprise, you're getting trained by JPEG and Cave Crawler. And instructor JPEG, I have brought with us, well, the entirety of the Twitch chat trainees. So I know I'm ready. Are they ready?
I think that's a good...
Yeah, there's a yes in chat. It's fine. One's good enough. But we are here to learn. So yeah, whenever you are ready, educate us.
Perfect. Well, thank you. And hello to my new trainee for Rockwell Mining Group, Asuka, and then to all of our virtual trainees in chat. I'm so excited to have you all. I did see some phrasing earlier that I do just want to correct everybody on. I did see a couple of you saying RNG. It's RMG, Rockwell Mining Group. It's a common mistake. They're really, really close in the alphabet. I totally get it. But we are RMG here. This is going to be your training on how to pilot your cave crawler drone. And I hope that I can do you justice. We'll just take you through. There's going to be, these are all simulations. That's what I want to make clear, everybody, is that these are all simulations. These are maps of things. There's some funny little text in between just for like flavor, but these are definitely simulations. But with that being said, I know that there was something about like an express lane, so I do want to go ahead and get started. The drone is already calibrated and you won't be able to see it, but like I said, since we're going on the freeway and the express lane, we will be using our blinker when merging. So we are going safety first. So time will begin on your training when I hit the space bar to scroll through the screen. So 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, I'm ready to take my notes.
All right, perfect. So we are cave crawling. So our first example here in this simulation is that we're going to be finding a missing person. So as you know, a thing that happens in this job, you'll be looking for things in caves. I hope that was slightly clear by the fact that it was a mining group and things like that. But you'll be looking for people in caves a lot of the time, a lot of things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In caves. So we will be doing a lot of that. This is for a hiker again. So, you know, let's stay optimistic, making a left turn here, you know, just a nice, easy left turn. We're going to stay optimistic that this hiker is alive. Let's just stay optimistic.
You always have to be positive. Always.
You do. You always have to be positive. And, you know, there's lots of great architecture here. You know, you see a lot of like natural cave architecture, which is really cool. Like a lot of stalactites and stalagmites, or as I like to call them, nature's fingers. So let's go ahead and let's just pull a Yui real quick, and I'm going to zoom in. Oh, and we did find our hiker. I'm sorry to say that he didn't make it.
I mean, it's just low poly on the camera. It's fine. I totally saw the person. I think the rest of the trainees saw the person too.
Yeah, we all saw him. But you know, if there ever is a case where you see something upsetting or anything like that, we do have counseling services on retainer, because here at Rockwell Mining Group, we care about you a whole lot.
Aww.
Sorry, that was kind of a dark joke after everything. But here's a lovely little map of your crawler drone. He was in your handbook. Very cute.
So cute.
I think he's cute. Now you can see in here some natural like crystal formations on the walls, which is a lovely perk of this job, that we get to look at things like this.
It is really pretty.
Yeah, there's a lot of like natural beauty down here, and it looks like there's some more of those formations from the first area, but that's perfectly acceptable, perfectly fine. And don't worry about taking the turns too tight. If you scrape the wall, we do have insurance. That's what we're good for. I've scraped a few of them, and looks like we have another flashlight situation here and some more spilled juice.
Oh, I like juice.
Yeah.
I like apple juice personally.
So that was it said you found a body. That was perfectly fine. That actually that they mean like a body, like an object. Like,
okay.
Like a body object. Yeah. Not like a body, like,
yeah.
Like a collection of mushrooms, maybe. You'll see a lot of like mushrooms down here at times. Just like right here with these mushroom spores.
Now, are these mushrooms kind of unique to the region? Oh.
Yeah, you know, they're certainly unique to the landscape, only in this cave. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in and then pull a Yui here.
That's impressive.
Complicated maneuver. And he looks like he's reaching for his hat. Isn't that cute?
You know, yoga in a cave. I get it.
Yeah. You kind of can't have a grave face in this line of work. You know, there's no need to spend your days graveling for the job and everything like that. And I know sometimes it can feel like you're barely hanging in there, but every day is a clean slate and you can roll right through.
You know, I can't speak for the rest of chat, but we're definitely not a group that's going to cave under pressure. So I think we're good.
I'm happy to hear that. This, I hope that this training is rolling along smoothly for everybody. Yeah. And you can ignore these text things in between. I'm not mashing as hard as possible to get through them as fast as possible. Everything is okay. In fact, I'll show you how okay everything is, just like as like a little bit of reassurance real quick. So it's okay. So everything down here, they're still alive. So see, are you ready? I'll prove it.
Mm-hmm.
They're still alive.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So everything's safe. You can ignore that caution sign that was on the left.
That's perfectly
We're
normal.
a drone. Yeah. We're a drone, so we're fine.
Yeah.
Some more of nature's fingers.
Oh. With a lot of mushrooms, I'm guessing, or mushroom spores?
Yeah. These look like mushroom spores to me. Definitely just big old mushroom spores. This is all natural. You all played Minecraft, right? It's just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. I totally get that.
If you saw some eyes in the corner, no, you didn't. But look, we're finding a missing team here. So these are all what we're about to find. Or just this is a team of crystals. Crystals. That's what you call a group of crystals, is a team.
Okay. That's a cool way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's the new hot slang. I'm definitely up to date on that. You can trust me for all your hard hitting slang. We still say things like cash money, right?
Oh, totally. And I think it was like, I think it was on page like 42 or something in the instruction manual that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you read through the manual. You know, it really shows that you're a real go-getter, and you're gonna roll with the punches. And this training certainly won't be boring for you.
It's not. No, I'm looking forward to the new job.
Yeah, I of course, you know, I really enjoy it. We're going to pull a 3-point turn in this hallway really quick here. All right, perfect. You could pull yourself in reverse all the way out of this cave if you wanted to, but then you might fall into the pit at the end and crash the drone and end up being a trainer instead of on the job. But that's not what happened to me. It's not. Oh. It's not. I perfectly... This is fine. We're gonna play a game now of what shape does this crystal take, and I think this is the shape of a cool dog.
You know, I can see the dog. That is a good doggo.
Yeah. It's a good dog.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, there's plenty of perfectly normal explanations for what's happening here, and. You know, even if the job can get a little dark and gritty, you never take anything for granted. That's for sure.
That's true.
I'm caught up on invisible architecture. There we go. This is again just a crystal, part of the crystal team. Newest anime hitting your shelves next week. Anime comes to box sets on shelves, right?
It's like
I believe.
It's like Sailor Moon Crystal Cave Edition. It's fine.
So true. You know, I would love to watch that. Obviously, I'm a cave and crystal aficionado. What do you think of the job so far, Asuka? You having a good time?
You know, I'm actually really enjoying this. It's I'm very much a shy person by nature, so just being able to enjoy companies of juice and crystals and dogs, I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to pay attention to anything that's happening here. I'm just going to mash through. We don't need to worry about things like federal law. You did sign an NDA. Our virtual trainees, you did sign that NDA. Yeah. I believe it may have been sent.
Yeah.
Yeah, over. Ignore the things about prison. That's not important. Redacted is definitely just because they couldn't come up with names for the simulation. And this is just somebody's fun little diorama.
That is a very, very realistic diorama. I'm impressed.
It is. But this is going to be our final exam, actually. And I've had a really, really good time with all of you, and I'm really going to miss this training class, but we can't spend too much time getting sentimental about it. Things can get a little stressful around here, but we'll just keep rolling forward and find a way to crawl on.
Yeah, the objective's a little weird though. I don't know if it's a puzzle or just somebody wasn't paying attention.
Maybe they just didn't finish.
Oh,
this
okay.
one.
Yeah.
We're gonna hang a right here at the intestine. There's some traffic on the left, so we're just gonna hang a right around this intestine really quick. So I know that this can seem a little bit weird and stressful, but you can't take it home with you. As we like to say, igneous is bliss, and Rockwell Mining Group is always in it for the greater good. Personally, I think this job rocks.
I'm
sorry.
Agree.
I am actually getting up to the final scan of our training here. So time will be right now, actually. So, You can come back tomorrow to just start immediately, right?
Yes. Yes. You know what? Yes. I really, I have my eye on the prize, and I would absolutely love to start tomorrow.
Perfect. I think I'm gonna actually go speak to the hiring manager and maybe make sure that there's like a little bit of like a signing bonus and maybe like an additional NDA or something like that. But those will go hand in hand. And I think I'll probably take an extended leave of absence at some point. But I'll see you around. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
For the record, it was so hard not to laugh at those puns. I love them so much.
I'm so glad. Oh gosh, let me put away my customer service voice now. Hi everybody, I'm JPEG.
Well, JPEG, do you want me to tell you something that I don't think you know?
Go for it.
So I don't know if you were made aware that Cave Crawler has a board.
There's a board now? What?
Yeah. And you want to know something?
What?
Your time was a lot faster than the current time on there.
Wait, is it... Okay, so I know there is a platformer Cave Crawler on there. There really is a... For this one now? I actually fully did not know this.
It says PC, Linux, and Steam Deck.
Okay, it might What? This is fully genuinely like unfaked news to me.
No, this is
the last time I checked, it was not there.
I neglected to tell you in the training manual. There's a board on speedrun.com that the current time on there is 15 minutes and 12 seconds. And JPEG, your time is 10 minutes and 51 seconds.
I think that's also a PB.
So, do you realize what that means?
Does that mean I just got a world record?
Yes.
I'm going to be screaming now for the next 25 minutes. If anybody needs me, I'll just be in chat holding down the A button. All right. I might cry. Very normal behavior for me to have right now. So thank you for being the one to deliver that news to me. That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
I was hoping you wouldn't see the board before today.
I didn't even go check. I was just like, it doesn't exist, and I just put it out of my mind. I'm not going to lie to you.
It exists. Okay. And I have it open right now, so you just got a world record.
Oh, that is so amazing. Thank you for telling me. Trainees, this was also you are all world record holders in learning Cave Crawler. You're all world record holders in my heart.
So,
oh my gosh.
Brand new world record holder. Now. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch at JPEG_EXE. I do stream intermittently. It's been a second, but I've been meaning to get back to it, so you can definitely hang out with me over there. In the meantime, if you want to hear what I'm up to, I am also on Twitter at also JPEG, so ALSOJAYPEG, and you'll hear me tweet a lot there. I'll tell you what I'm up to, and I also go on my friends and sister streams a lot via The Burning Ship. Shout out to The Burning Ship, shout out to my husband, my fam, everybody that's watching and joined. Love you all. I'm very appreciative that you're here. So yeah, those are where you can find me, and I'll probably be screaming and tweeting on there after this too. And thank you, Asuka, for having me, because this is a delight.
No, thank you for coming on. with that, again, we're going to take another really quick hydration break. Feel free to celebrate everyone's new world record, JPEG's new world record in chat, and we'll be right back with more Express Lane.
Awesome.
Welcome back, everybody, to Express Lane. Before we get to our next run, I do have a quick announcement for all of you. Just in case you weren't aware, Games Done Quick's actually hiring. So if you have experience in website design and development and would like to literally help overhaul our website, or you have experience in social media creation and you want to help out at our live events, all you have to do is go to gamesdonequick.com/jobs to apply. But with that, we are going to head off into our next run in lane. That's going to be Grey Goo Girls. Let's see if I can get this right. Wizards and Warriors 3 Kuros Visions of Power. I think I got it all set, but I'm going to pass on to Grey Goo Girl and take it away. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Thank you for the introduction. So we're going to be playing Wizards and Warriors Kuros Visions of Power. Wizards and Warriors 3 Kuros Visions of Power. Third installment in the Wizards and Warriors series. It's a lovely game, little out there, but definitely odd.
I've just loved watching these people like walking around on screen this whole time. Sorry.
Oh yeah, just introducing all of the side characters that you're never going to meet. Yeah, it's amazing. So with that, I think we should get started. We can start then in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to collect some money, because we need to talk to the only locksmith in town, who is every bartender, and buy ourselves some keys so we can start breaking into people's houses. Because that's what Kuros does.
That's a way to start a game.
Oh, it certainly is. So, yeah, we're going to talk to this bartender. He's going to sell us 2 keys, and we are going to access a house that's right off screen, and that's going to get us our first statue. You need statues to do guild challenges, so this is the first thief statue, bronze statue. So we're going to grab that, and then we're immediately going to head out and go straight to the Thieves Guild, because right now Kuros is just a level 0 knight. He's nothing. He doesn't have any classes, can't do any special skills, he's just Kuros. But we want to get him some nice thief clothes, so we're going to do this little thief challenge over here. And we're like, a minute in, and we're at our first auto-scroller.
Hey!
Fortunately, it's pretty short.
You know, for being just a basic knight starting off, the jumping skills, oh my gosh.
He does have a leap, like, especially that armor. It's like clearly heavy armor.
That is impressive.
He also doesn't really know how to swing a sword. He's just like, yeah. He's just doing his thing.
just the squatting every once in a while.
Yeah, this had a really interesting combat system where you hold a direction and push a button to attack, and it's like, they were doing something cool, and then they just didn't quite get it. So this fight is actually the hardest guild challenge in the game, because this one does not move, does not have a pattern. It basically takes your inputs and stance and attacks you from there. So sometimes you can get a quick kill where it doesn't hit you at all. Sometimes it does that where it knocks you back a lot. But we just did that, so now we're going to get our first set of thief clothes. We are officially a thief after breaking into a house.
Nice.
And we're going to get a fun dagger that is shorter than our sword, and we move a little bit faster. And we're going to go back to that bartender, and we're going to buy 3 more keys. Unfortunately, this will be the last time we see the bartender during the run. We can do that real quick.
I'm getting bearded Robin Williams and Hook vibes from this costume right now, and I'm here for it.
A little bit. I also noticed the other day that there's a space between his head, beard, and clothing, and I don't quite understand how that would work. You can see it when he moves.
Okay, I can't unsee that now.
I know, right? There's just like floating head Kuros with thief clothes. We're gonna kill this guy by stabbing him in the shins, by the way. This is just a demon that's hanging out in town. No explanation. And he kicked us, because he's mean. So we're just gonna poke him in the shins, and eventually he's gonna fall over. And we're gonna steal the statue he's guarding, which is the second thief statue. So we're gonna become a level 2 thief. Now, normally to get to the level 2 thief area, you need to do a couple things. One of which is to become a wizard so that you can harness the elemental... Oh, whoop, that was a flub jump. So you have to get the fire ability to burn down the most dangerous of foes, a beehive. But we're just gonna do this thing over here. We jump up and we despawn it. And we can go up to the top part of town. We're gonna go over this way. There's gonna be a damage boost off of a guy guarding an entrance over here. And we're just gonna boop and pop right there. Gonna walk right past this, jump over here, and we are at our second Thieves Guild. So we are at our second auto-scroller. So yeah, we're gonna do another one of these Thieves challenges. The guild is basically identical to the layout of the other one. All of the actual map areas are the same. But this has different doors. That's the only difference. And they throw more stuff at you.
Oh, so they go between very specific set of doors. So that door that just popped up will go to the other blue door.
Yeah, this is an homage to the original Wizards and Warriors games, where that was how all doors worked. Is you would walk through a door, take you to another door.
Oh, okay.
With this, they kind of built it in there. They did that really kind of cool mechanic, and then they never use it. It's used in these two challenges. All right, so we're gonna try something I practiced earlier, which we got. So there's a way you can make this guy in his pattern lean back, which lets you get a bunch of attacks in. And if you do a certain movement right at a certain time, he'll do that lean back. You can get a bunch of strikes in. Unfortunately, I didn't do a full, proper 3-cycle on that, but sloppy. So sloppy. Either way, we got him.
It still works.
Yeah, you can typically do it in one cycle if you get the lean back on the first one, and then you do 3 lean backs on the second one, but it is what it is. Either way, we're now a level 2 thief, and we've got a crowbar now, so we're gonna properly break and enter and rip through a window. We go this way. So we're just gonna hold left for a while. That's gonna put us right where we want to be. It is the most challenging platforming in this game. Just a little jump here, and we are going to break in here. And now we're gonna fight another demon, and this guy we're gonna kill with the power of flexing. We're just gonna hold up our crowbar, and that's gonna damage him. See? He's repelled by the flexing.
Oh my gosh. I love
He's just nope, I can't handle it. So we flex at him a little more, and he's down. So now we're gonna steal this statue, which is a gold thief statue. Which, if there was a statue made of gold that size, Kuros would not be carrying it like it's nothing. But we're gonna pop out here, we're gonna push this guy off the roof, see your death, there we go, and we're gonna keep going. Hop over here, and go back up, we're gonna despawn that beehive again, because we don't want the beehive there. It's just annoying to deal with, so pop up, despawn, and now we're gonna meet Julia. Julia is the first of the princesses. Kuros is going to pledge his undying love to Julia in order to get her gem. You need all the gems in order to get past a gate in the underworld. I don't know how Kuros is supposed to know this, but you do. So he pledges to marry her, and that's totally fine. They know each other, they've talked to each other, they're gonna get married for, knowing each other for half a second with breaking and entering involved. But it's fine. Oh, that was a bad damage boost. That was the rare double damage boost that is absolutely the opposite of what you want to do. Oh, don't be this way. Don't be this way, game. Oh, again. Unfortunate. There it is.
There we go.
And now we're in here. This is the third Thieves Guild, so we're going to do another auto-scroller with the same layout.
Yay!
More doors, more daggers, more arrows, but at the end of this, we get something that's actually useful. It's the third Thieves Guild ability, and I will wait until we are there to explain it. But yeah, this is all just the same concept of, avoid the doors that are bad, go to the doors that are good, don't get hit by things.
Oh, fair.
It's, standard fare.
Well, I'll say, because I believe you're playing this game in this category in Flame Fatales coming up.
I absolutely am. I was 100% shocked it got in, because it's certainly a game.
I mean, you're talking to someone that we're not going to talk about some of the questionable things I put in game consoles, but no, what got you into the Fatales? And 'cause you've pretty much become a staple in the community, and it's always great to see you posting it there and everything.
So I joined that. I joined Fatales. My partner kind of pushed me into it after Flame last year. We'd watched some stuff together. She saw one of the ads for it, and she's like, "You should think about joining," because I've been watching a lot of speedrun content. I also seen Demarain doing some runs for Fatales, and I kind of was inspired to join, and worked out really well for me. I'm very happy to be able to give back to the community and do the randomizer runs that I do. it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, for those interested in joining Frame Fatales, and you have any inkling to try out randomizers, Grey Goo Girl, it does wonders in the randomizer section within the community. So definitely check it out. And just everyone in there is such heckin' good people. So definitely say hi to all of us. They're pretty cool.
Heck yeah. Alright, so we just went down to go up, by the way. Broke into a place that had a bunch of beehives in it. Again, more beehives. That took us up to the upper part of the city. So the city is stacked vertically. So if you go up to the noble portion. If you go down, you go to the underworld. I don't know why they thought this was a good design choice, but they did. And we're going to use this giant golden key as both a crowbar and as a key to every door in this game. So any door that's locked, we can now open without any need for keys.
For a split second, I thought that was the sky. I'm like, no, that's just a blue wall with rocks, I think.
Yeah, this is the upper part of the castle, so it's full of nobility. They don't like thieves, so they'll attack me on the spot. Also, this area has jerk birds, which I try to avoid as much as possible. And we're going to do a little amplification of momentum there, get across here. Now we're going to meet the second princess, and I think you can understand what Kuros is going to do. He's going to pledge to marry this princess. Now, I don't know if he talked about it with her. I'm pretty sure he didn't, but now he's engaging in an unethical polyamory, and that's not okay. Talk to your partners, people. Be better than Kuros.
Always communication is key.
Communication is key.
And not just that giant key that he has in his hand.
So we're just going to drop down, just jump off the castle like it's nothing. And we're going to slide down here, we're going to fall for a little bit, and we're going to hit that rooftop. And now we're going to the underworld, where we're going to see a completely different change of venue. It's now caves, and it's basically the same concept of we're going to do some platforming, we're going to get some statues, and we're going to become a wizard.
Hey!
This game may be called Wizards and Warriors, but we don't do any of the Night Guild challenges, so it's really just wizards and thieves. Alright, so we're going to the first Wizards Guild. This is going to be where we learn how to cast fire. I would like to draw attention before we go any further to the color of the wizard's robes and the color of his beard. That will be important in just a few moments.
Oh boy.
And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Oh no.
We're climbing his beard.
Oh no.
Yep, we're climbing his beard. So these platforms, they're pretty large platforms. They move pretty slowly. Not too bad. But yeah, we're climbing his beard. That's his challenge, is we're using these platforms to climb up it. And I don't know why they thought that was a good idea, but they did.
I don't want to know what those moving things are, though.
I have no idea. We will see beard worms later, but don't worry about that. Oh, that is the worst jump in both this and the third challenge. Because again, they recycled them between the two challenges. But you'll see why the third challenge is substantially worse in a little bit. Pop up here. I think we hit the spot proper. Yes, so he can't hit us, but we can hit him. That means this is just done. It's just mashing buttons. And we got ourselves the level 1 wizard, which can cast fire, as stated earlier. So we're going to do a couple things here. Now for one of the more technical portions of it, we're going to try and do the Jackie skip as intended, but we might have to do the backup. So, buffer some inputs. Do this right. Nope, we did not do it right. So we're going to have to do the backup. I'm going to go over here as the level 3 thief. We're going to stand right here. We're going to pop up, and if we do this correctly, we pop right through the wall. And now we just sort of scoot on by that goobery thing up there that, you need the level 1 knight to clear. But since we don't have the level 1 knight, we couldn't do that. We gotta hop through the wall. And now we're going to pop open this door, and we're going to change to our newly acquired Fire Mage. And we're going to kill some snakes that were minding their own business.
Oh, but they look so happy.
They're like, it's okay. They're giant snakes. They must be bad, right? I mean, that's what it means. Just to be a giant snake in the underworld, surrounded by other mysterious magic creatures. Clearly, they're not doing good.
Of course not.
So we're gonna just fire at this guy a bunch of times.
Oh. Now, is it random which ones it goes into?
This is a purely deterministic pattern. I actually mapped it out the other day, trying to figure out the best pattern for this. So there are, I want to say, 7 patterns. This is our second snake. second snake does a mirrored version of the first snake. So it's basically the same, but it's backward. Which, honestly, it's kind of a clever way to do it. They just took the pattern and inverted it.
That makes sense.
All right, so we're gonna do this. This snake's gonna take a little bit of time to get down as well. This is one of the more deterministic parts of the run. Very straightforward once you figure out where to stand, and it's a little intimidating at times because they can do stuff like that where they swoop in. Come on. Also, if you're attacking at a certain time... Oh, perfect. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go and grab this, and then as we walk out, we're going to have just a quick moment of silence for our fallen snake comrades. So, pop in here. Moment of silence. Thank you, Kuros. I have no idea why the music cuts out there. It does, and it's great. We're going to run over this way, and we are going to take our newly acquired level 3 wizard statue, and we're going to pop over here into the level 3 Wizards Guild. They're going to kick us out, because thieves don't know magic. Their secrets are not for our eyes. So we're going to just put on our robe and go right back in. And now we can go and partake of the guild challenge, where they will teach us how to be a much better wizard by turning us into a knight and climbing a beard again.
Why is it you switch back to the knight or for all these challenges?
I wish I knew. I really do. It's just, I guess they wanted it to be the default skills. They didn't want to, like, tool it around playing as the previous class. Because, like, if they did that for the wizard, it makes more sense, because the wizard jumps a lot higher. They've got more control over their jumps in certain aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, like, they just did some level setting with this. Okay, also Beardworm, and we're going to stab him. We got him. That's good luck. And now the hardest jump in the game. And I got it in one. Heck yeah.
Nice. GG.
All right, so we're going to pop up here, see if we hit the right... Nope, we did not hit the right spot. So there's a spot that's in between where those ball things can hit us, or we can hit him. His staff can't hit us. And these fish thingies, I don't know what they're supposed to be, can't hit us either. So we hit the right spot the second time. Totally fine. And now we have the ability to levitate. It was the third wizard ability. This is going to be required for just a couple things, specifically getting through some jump areas later. But yeah, we're closing in pretty quickly on the end here. I'm going to pop over here, swap back to our thief, because their lateral momentum is much faster than the wizards. So it's always faster if you're doing any kind of, like, actual directional traveling. It's not up and down. To use them. So pop over here, hop up here, oh, and missed that jump. Pop into here, go out the same door, we're in a different place.
That makes sense.
Here. Yeah, just cave just goes where it wants to go, it's fine. So now we're gonna go and turn into our wizard again. We gotta float up here because it's just too high to jump from anywhere else. And then we're gonna swap to our thief, and we're gonna go into here, and it looks like we've met the third sister. And we're going to pledge to marry Lindsay and take her gem. And now Kuros is bad over once again, doing bad Kuros things.
Yeah. Again, communication with everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The lesson of this game is be better than Kuros. Don't break into houses, and don't, pledge to marry 3 different people without talking to each other first. Those are all the things that Kuros does that he definitely shouldn't do. There's probably more. Oh, and, like, killing things that are minding their own business, or... So we're going to float up here, and we're going to fight now the High Dragon. I call it the High Dragon. I think it's just called the Dragon, but it's got 3 heads, none of which are appropriately scaled for a dragon. And this is by far the worst part of this run, in that it's very hard to control for. Nope, we don't want 2, we want 1. Thank you. We're going to throw fire at it. We're supposed to have a really big sword from the Knights challenges, but we don't, so we're doing this. And now we're just going to throw fireballs at it and hope that we don't fall. If you get hit, you fall through the platforms, typically. It doesn't always happen, but it does happen sometimes, and when it does, the dragon gets all of its health back. So we want to make sure we don't get hit, or as much as possible. Okay, there we go. Do that. Alright, he's in line to take some actual damage. There are ways to get through this cycle much faster, but it's not always predictable. Also, this is very RNG as to when he attacks and how close he gets and all those sorts of patterns. So it makes this fight which is like right near the end of the run, into the biggest RNG point. Nobody likes that.
Yeah, that just...
All right, so we're almost done. We just need... There we go.
Nice.
He's done. We got him in one. That was good. So we grab our last gem. We hop up here. We shoot off some fireworks in celebration. Don't worry. They're not consequential, I promise. We're going to turn over to the thief, and we are going to just drop these gems directly into this gate. I don't know how this was all set up, because, like, in the intro, Kuros just... not Kuros, Malik, the main bad guy, just shows up. But somehow all of this is set up in advance. Don't question. It's fine. Alright, so we're going to hop over here, and we are going to do a large series of platforming. This is 2 minutes solid of just platforming to get up to the boss. It is, again, sort of a punishment for playing this game, is you get to go through this very, very long corridor where there's nothing but some gems to collect and some ominous music and a build-up. And I get it. They set this up because they were expecting it to take people 4 hours to get here, and, like, this is the lead up to the final boss, the big thing, but it's really just a very, very long hallway that nobody wants to deal with.
At this point, do those gems do anything for you? Or is it just...
They were just there to open the gate.
Oh, jeez.
So Kuros pledged to marry 3 women so that he could open a gate. You'd think with, like, the power of fire and all of the stuff he's acquired, like the crowbar, he could just, like, I don't know, pry the portcullis open, like...
You would think that.
You'd think. But, yeah, no, magic gems and killing dragons, definitely more important to do it that way. So this requires you to float up through it. It's just very slow. Flying is always very slow in this. It definitely makes sense to stay as the wizard, though, because there's a lot of these little interspersed floaty moments. If it weren't for that, we'd definitely be the thief, because he's just much faster. Yeah, so we got a couple more rooms to go through. We got through the caves. This is all of the middle of the town, which, podiums with dollar sign bags on them, because that's the thing.
Of course.
Pop up. Yeah, we're going to pop up this way. We're going to keep doing these jumps. These are all vertical, which is really nice. Really quick to get through this. We are going to pop over here, and there's one more door here. And then this is like the best tile set in the game we only see in the speedrun in this section. It's like the inside of a tall stone tower. I've always loved this set.
Oh, that does look really cool.
Like, they put a lot of time and effort into making some of these areas look really nice.
Yeah, even...
So we are going... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, like, even some of the color choices aside, yeah, this game looks really cool. Even the stones in the underworld, the Medusa heads and everything, they look fantastic.
Yep. All right. So we're going to pop in here. We're going to save our short king. He's the actual king of town. We're doing as the thief because the thief runs faster in cutscenes. Only reason. So now we're going to meet up with the final boss, who offers us a chance to work for him. We're not going to do that because that ends the game prematurely. We're going to say no, and now we're going to swap back to our levitating mage. And we're just going to levitate right here, and he blows up. That's the end of the game. That would be time. Alright, so I'm going to reset so we don't have to watch this horrendous amount of, like, flashing lights and explain just what happened there. So, what we did was, when we set off those non-consequential fireworks, they actually overwrote part of his attack pattern. And if you levitate in a certain spot with that overwrite, it causes him to explode. I don't know why, I don't know how someone found that, but that's what it does.
What?
So, yeah. Final boss defeated by using levitate power in a very specific spot. This game is very well coded.
That is amazing.
On a serious note, though, I absolutely do love this game, and if you're interested, speedrun communities, the speedrun board is up. There aren't a lot of runners for it, but it's a really easy one to pick up. So I highly encourage people, if they're interested in running a game that is silly and kind of difficult to play at times, then this is something they might want to consider.
Oh, awesome. And then where can they find you if they want to watch you stream or somewhere else on the internet?
I have a Twitch account that I use for 3 nights a week I stream. So I run on Mondays and Wednesdays and then Sunday mornings. I run randomizer content, I run crowd control stuff, and actually earlier tonight I was doing a Mega Man Damage Shuffler. So all sorts of fun stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Grey Goo Girl. My brain is still after that final boss. That was so cool. But chat,
That is the appropriate response.
we'll run with that. But with that, chat, stick around, get yourself another glass of water, and we'll be back with even more Express Lane. Stay tuned. Hello again, friends, and welcome back to some more Express Lane. Just a quick heads up, if you missed out on any of our other Hotfix shows or past events, make sure you check out the VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And as a reminder, if you're liking what you're seeing so far and you yourself have a run that's an hour or less and want to be on Express Lane, I'd love to have you. So put !Hotfix in chat and then come find out about how you can submit for future episodes. But with that, the next game in the lane is the ever-loved Hollow Knight with the absolutely amazing Quacksilver. So, Quacksilver, how you doing and who'd you bring with you?
Amazing. Hi everyone, I'm Quack. In solidarity with the Cave Crawler world record from earlier, I have Hollow Knight's own Cave Crawler, Mila, here, and I am also joined on the mic by the inimitable Cthulhu.
Hello, everyone.
And the eagle-eared viewers among you will notice that this is not the usual title screen music that plays for Hollow Knight, because this is a modded speedrun, and I'm so excited to be able to show off two of the highest profile, biggest, most expansive mods in Hollow Knight, as the community has been keeping itself fantastically busy while we all wait for that little sequel that you might not have heard of. But this is Transcendence Chaos Mode any %, and I'll explain all of the component pieces of that once we get in, and we're gonna start the run in 3, 2, 1, go. Mac, will you do the honors of our custom intro here for the Zagnite mod?
Sure. Few tales are told of Hades, whose very name inspires fear and penitence, reminding us of the inevitable fate which we all share. I, however, mean to tell you such a tale. Listen carefully.
Alright, so Zagnite is a custom skin for Hollow Knight that not only replaces the knight with Zagreus, but also replaces a ton of overworld and background assets, and we'll be seeing a lot more of it throughout the run. But the thing I want to talk to you about is Transcendence Chaos Mode. So Transcendence is a mod by Pimpus Pimpinella that adds 15 new charms to Hollow Knight. One of them is a charm called Chaos Orb. Chaos Orb randomly simulates the effects of 3 other charms, changing every 30 seconds. And Chaos Mode is a special mode attached to Transcendence that permanently force equips a Chaos Orb to you. So you will see in the bottom right-hand corner of my screen here that there are going to be 3 charms displayed. Actually, thanks to the Zagnite mod, there are 3 boons that are displayed, that are charms that I have equipped to me at all times, that I have no control over, and we're going to be trying to beat the game under these conditions. This is a very silly mod and a very silly run because you are constantly contending with things that have no bearing on speedruns typically, but it is one of my favorite ways to play Hollow Knight right now.
Yeah, and you might recognize some of these charms as charms that are in the base game, but of course the Transcendence mod is actually adding additional charms, one of which you may see the effect of there. Quack is flying off into the sky because he randomly got the anti-gravity amulet charm. There's a large number of charms in Transcendence which change your basic movement. Anti-gravity does what you might expect and basically lowers the gravity. There's a handful of other ones which are going to pop up. You may also notice this poison cloud that's following us. That is an effect of the Zagnite skin. That is actually Defender's Crest, which, if you're familiar with Hollow Knight, makes you a little bit stinky.
Yeah, so we got a lot of custom assets here. But the basic premise of this run is the same as regular old Hollow Knight, any %. Collect 3 Dreamers, use it to open the Black Egg Temple, and then defeat the Hollow Knight in order to finish the game. We're Zagreus, the Hollow Knight is someone else. Everyone's just okay with this. So the core architecture of the run is going to be mostly the same. So for instance, here I'm going to pick up the Vengeful Spirit spell in a little bit. Trans writes, by the way, one of the benefits of modded speedruns is that you get to have a ton of custom skins, not just for you, but for some of the critters in the overworld. So in my UI now is actually one of the most important charms that I'm going to get. The bottom charm in my UI is a charm called Millibel's Blessing that is just a passive geo income. Geo is very important to this run. Unlike the regular any percent speedrun that gets relics and sells them to an NPC for money, we're trying to get all of our money from just playing the game, and so every time we get Millibels, it's one of the only charms that is always good to have equipped to you. There's never a bad time to have Millibels.
Yeah, Millibels is a little bit strong when you have a lot of money. Especially, it works much like real life, which is once you have a lot of money, it basically comes freely to get a lot more.
So that is a dev-intended shortcut out of the False Knight fight. We don't actually have to fight that first boss. Also, shout-outs to the Grimchild. That is, of course, Megara. She'll come back, I hope. And with that, we're going to pick up our Vengeful Spirit spell. You'll also probably hear Math and me either call it Fireball or abbreviate it to VS. It's all referring to the same thing. But once I pick up VS, I'm going to get trapped in this little tutorial area to prove that I know how to use it. And this is where one of the funniest things about Chaos Mode is actually relevant, because you see, Vengeful Spirit is actually technically skippable, but the amount of good luck that you would need in order to skip it makes it entirely infeasible for a marathon-style setting. Because of the enemy at the back of this tutorial area, called a Balder, that can't be damaged by the nail, generally speaking, and so you're supposed to need Vengeful Spirit to get one, and there's another one that blocks our path to the next area. However, there are a number of charms that are obviously ordinarily inaccessible at the beginning of the game that will let you kill Balders. So in theory, if you were very lucky, you could just skip this segment entirely, but we're going to be playing it a little bit safe.
Wonderful RNG there. Quack got Shaman Stone equipped as one of her 3 charms there, and Shaman Stone's a pretty powerful charm that's used in the actual normal any percent run of this game, which increases your spell damage by quite a bit. In particular for the Fireball, it increases it by about a third, from 15 to 20 damage, and that meant that she didn't have to wait for one of the normally largest RNG checks of the early game of any percent, which is an extra Balder Spit. Instead, 3 hits, 3 fireballs killed the Balder. So that was some nice RNG. Here she'll have to probably actually wait for an extra spit there.
I mean, we could have tried to, cheese it with Mark of Pride. I had one of the charms there was Mark of Pride, which is nail extension, but I want to talk about Weavers. Everyone say hi to Boldy.
Boldy!
One of the other features of this Zagnite mod is a separate mod called Big Weavers that lets you custom choose the size of your weavers. This was done to make Boldy a little bit more Boldy sized. But you can actually scale the weavers up to, I think something like 800% of their normal size.
Boldy can get pretty unreasonably large. It is wonderful.
Boldy can get pretty swoldy. I'm so sorry.
Don't be. I didn't mention this earlier, but chat has been popping off for Small Zagreus, and Boldy is just also getting just as much love. These mods are amazing.
Yeah, we've all been a little bit busy while waiting for that other game. I didn't turn around there. So here's one of the more interesting charms that I have equipped at the top of my UI now. It's a charm called Crystal Master that gives you a flat speed buff, RIP, but also deducts your geo periodically over time. So right now it's actually more than counteracted by the Millibels. We love you, Millibels. But it's one of those things that's it's just a small physics change. As I have a spot of lag there, we're gonna heal.
Staying alive is still important. Yeah, Crystal Master, especially once you have more money, because the amount that it speeds you up actually depends on the total amount of geo that you have. So if you're sitting there with a lot of money and suddenly you get Crystal Master, it can throw you off, or more accurately, directly into the spikes you were about to walk into.
Yeah. There is one segment of the run in particular. Crystal Master is generally pretty good to have, except for when your game decides that you will not input for a second. But there is one segment of the run that I am very much hoping to avoid any charm ending in Master that we'll talk about a little bit later.
Quack, did you pick up Blue Moth?
No, we're going to go back and grab that.
Okay. I saw a chat message there, so okay. That is another charm, which will be pretty important. We can talk about it in a minute when she picks it up, but it is placed relatively early in Green Path, somewhere that is a little bit out of the way from the normal any percent routes. So muscle memory can be strong.
Speaking of games with sequels coming up, this is Melanoa, and we're fighting her with flukes, apparently. I will not die to Hornet today. Wow, Fluke's
you
good.
Get at least, at least the animation is custom here, so the Flukes have a small advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Dash. This is the best ability in the game, probably. It makes you very fast, as you can imagine. You are suddenly able to dash all around, including in the air. Hollow Knight actually gives you your air dash along with your ground dash. Some games should maybe take note.
Yeah, it is a, what do you do with the Metroidvania dash is a popular question that many devs have had to come up with their own unique answer for. But we're going to go grab the most important charm of this run. So Matt talked about Shaman Stone earlier, and we will be grabbing Shaman Stone. Shaman Stone is a very important charm because of the sheer damage buff it gets. But we need to talk about the most broken charm in Transcendence, a little charm called Blue Moth Wings. In the game, one of the abilities that any percent does not typically grab is your double jump, Monarch Wings. Blue Moth Wings is a charm that gives you infinite double jumps. This is used to, understandably, sidestep a lot of stuff that you might otherwise need. But there is a cost to it. The reason I said earlier that Geo was so important is because every time you double jump using Blue Moth Wings, even if you actually had the Monarch Wings, it costs 10 Geo, and if you're out of Geo, you can't double jump. So, we're gonna be stockpiling Geo.
Yeah, most of the Geo we pick up in this run actually goes into basically just getting a few crucial double jumps in places where they're needed to skip certain areas. But now that Quack has gone out of her way to pick up the Blue Moth Wings, nice. Getting that descent in fungal.
The fun little tricks that
that's
saves
much harder than she makes it
a
look.
fraction of a second, but it's the style factor is deeply important. All right, cool. So now we get to talk about my least favorite charm in Chaos Mode, Glowing Womb, which at least with Zagnite lets us meet Dusa a couple times, which is a consolation prize. But Glowing Womb is obnoxious because Glowing Womb drains your soul and also spawns hitboxes that you can't control that like to aggro enemies and generally like have a bad time. So here's our first Blue Moth jump. Ordinarily, speedrunners do a trick called Explosion Pogo there, but we're just gonna double jump it.
Yep. So yeah, there's a few places like that where it is possible to do to do some other skip or some other trick to get to certain things. Like here, for example, there's a pogo on those mantises, so another double jump there. But it's also much easier to just simply use your Blue Moth Wings. The only trick is figuring out exactly how much Geo you can afford to spend.
Yeah, you may be asking yourself, why do we pick up Mantis Claw when we already have infinite jumps? And the answer is because infinite jumps are very expensive. And Mantis Claw, this game is incredibly designed around Mantis Claw, which is our wall jump. And so using it to save an unfathomable number of jumps is going to be kind of crucial. Otherwise, the geo-routing would be a little bit different. And I have Sprint Master. That's why this movement is different now. Yep, there we go. The Sprint Master is just a flat walking speed buff. and it doesn't affect your airtime, unlike Crystal Master, which affects both ground and airspeed. So we're constantly juggling physics changes.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest bit about Chaos Mode, is when your physics just suddenly change and you aren't expecting it. It can be bad. There's one other charm that can really hurt, but maybe we'll wait until it appears to talk about it. I'm sure it'll show up.
I'm sure I would never be trolled by Chaos Mode. It would never happen. Anyway, here's one of the best charm loadouts imaginable when it's useless. So the middle charm there is a charm called Florist's Blessing. Florist's Blessing triples your nail damage, which ordinarily comes at the cost of, if you take a single hit, the charm breaks and it costs 1,000 Geo to repair, or 1,200 Geo to repair, by the Grey Mourner, if you're familiar with Hollow Knight. However, when you get it randomly shuffled in Chaos Mode, there's no downside. It's just triple your nail damage. Also really cool shade skip, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're familiar with the 80% run, or most runs of Hollow Knight, honestly, there's a shade skip that we do to get up into this area early. With Blue Moth Wings, you just jump up there.
Yeah. We haven't hit anything where Blue Moth Wings is actually required yet. Nice fake wall cling there. We haven't hit anything where Blue Moth Wings is actually required yet. It's just been convenient for speed. But we are going to get... There is one segment of the game, and talk a little bit while we pick up our Dream Nail. This is our plot item. We need it to access the Dreamers, as you might perhaps guess. But so sort of the history of the Hollow Knight any percent speedrun, the real any percent speedrun, the vanilla one, is there's a boss that we're going to fight a fair bit later called Umu, that is in an area that is gated by acid. There is an acid swim ability in this game, but it was, for a long time, it was faster to actually get the super dash ability, which let you skip over certain acid pools without needing the acid swim ability, Isma's Tear, in order to beat the game a little bit faster. However, across the patch history of Hollow Knight, thanks to some very arcane, very cursed skips, an alternative route that uses the acid swim ability was discovered, and for the current patch of the game is actually the fastest any percent time. And this run will be doing neither of those things because we have infinite jumps. So our acid access is Blue Moth Wings, and so there are a couple of spots where I'm going to need to use several wings jumps in order to actually cross acid. But yeah.
One thing also that we didn't talk about too much, but you may see Quack doing a few times. You'll notice she brings up a menu and will occasionally hit a warp button. That's yet another mod called Bench Warp. It's actually not doing a whole heck of a lot in this run other than making it a little bit faster RTA. Basically, in this game, if you quit to menu, it saves your progress and puts your position at your last bench. Bench Warp lets you do that without having to quit to menu. So it doesn't actually change any of the routing. It's just a slightly faster way and a slightly more convenient way to do those save quits.
Yeah. Anyway, are there any Good Riddance fans in the chat? Because Zagnite's got custom music too. This is Meadows of Tears that was arranged by HKC's very own caffeinated composer. That is a custom interpolation of City of Tears and Good Riddance, and I'm gonna shut up for a second so y'all can enjoy it.
And keep your ears open for the evolution of this as well, because when you're in combat, it also changes in a way that is wonderful. I'm not sure if it does for the Watcher Knight.
It doesn't for these. We actually won't be seeing it until after Watchers, but
okay.
Little tease for later.
Yeah.
Oh, hi,
Chad is
Antigraph.
loving the music, by the way. They're absolutely loving it.
All right, so
It is wonderful.
Antigrav here is not my favorite thing, actually. But we do have to kill this Great Husk Sentry.
Yeah, anti-grav is one of the most rude chaos mode charms to suddenly have.
Every once in a while, it's absolutely beautiful. Let me grab a little soul here. But in combat is not one of those times.
Yeah, anti-grav does make it so that you can simply jump past. You jump roughly twice as high as you normally would, so you can just jump past some obstacles or some places where normally you'd need to potentially use the blue moth wings or not be able to get it all. So it is helpful at times, but since we can't rely on it with Chaos Orb, we simply have to suffer most of the time.
Yep, and this is Watcher Knights, the signature hard fight of any percent, and so I'm gonna quiet down and let Math take this while I focus on what my UI is doing.
Yeah, so the Watcher Knight fight is sort of the probably the main barrier to the normal any percent speedrun when you're first learning it. This is generally considered the hardest fight in any percent. To learn and to also to execute quickly. It's a pretty complicated fight, especially once two knights come out at once. The main trick in any percent, the thing that makes it so difficult is you have basically no damage. We come here with literally the base nail and a single unupgraded fireball spell. Shaman Stone does help, of course. It increases our damage, but this is still very, very difficult. This doesn't really get much better with the Transcendence Chaos mode because we don't have any extra damage charms necessarily. We do have, of course, Chaos happening, so it could happen that Quack gets very lucky and suddenly has, Florist Blessing or something that helps her deal a lot more damage. But there's also the other side of the coin where she could pick up charms that actually not only don't help, but hurt. There is one charm in Transcendence, which actually reduces your nail damage from 5 to simply 1. Luckily, she got through that fight without it popping up, but that can make some of these fights painful.
That was a pretty mild Watcher Knights, honestly. Like, there were some soul upgrading charms, but we didn't get anti-grav, we didn't get steady body, which is another physics changing charm. We didn't get there's steady body now in the middle. You love that. We didn't get that charm Snail Slash, which also does, to be clear, it's not just a pure downside charm. It also does double your soul gain from all sources. But there are times when that's not enough to make the charm one you want to equip.
Yeah, definitely not useful when your best spell damage is still only Vengeful Spirit.
And then we have these Dreamer cutscenes where we actually go and grab the Dreamer. These Dreamers take 10 nail slashes in order to acquire. And it's not damage based, it's just based by nail slashes. So the only thing we're looking for in it is a quick slash, which is always sort of fun to luck into during a Dreamer cutscene. One of those few situations where a lot of our like standard good charms don't actually do as much as we'd like. But again, Millibels. Can't be mad with Millibels.
You do have to appreciate them giving you Dash Master for the entire time you were hitting the Dreamer, and then it going away as soon as you're getting control back.
Yeah. Something about the Chaos Mode Shuffle is that it's every 30 seconds in real time, so like loads and cutscenes and the like don't actually affect it. Here's the inventory drop that Math was talking about. That's probably the biggest one we'll see in the run. Ooh, that was a spicy load. Guess it's thinking about the Meadows of Tears theme, which we'll get back to in just a second here. And, as Math promised earlier, we have the Meadows of Tears action theme coming up in a second, so I'm actually taking a slightly slower route out of City by just a handful of seconds because it's important that we all witness this.
Yes, trust us, it'll be worth it.
It'll be very short, so everyone get ready to rock out.
Yeah, and saving the grub.
Here we go.
To see it. Okay, so you got just the slightest hint of it there, but play with this skin and go and fight some arenas in the City of Tears, and you'll get the full experience. It is worth a listen, I promise you.
Just sit in that room and shadow box for a few minutes. It'll be absolutely great. And then I'm also going to pick up a simple key here. It is a special surprise tool that will help us later. Don't worry about it. But with that, we're going to go out of the city and into one of the scarier parts of the run from a chaos mode perspective, because we're going to re-equip Blue Moth Wings and head into Fog Canyon to where Umu, our second dreamer, lies. Fog Canyon is famous, of course, for having explosive enemies in it. And the thing about Chaos Mode is that sometimes you get minion charms that attack without you intending to, and the explosive enemies in Fog Canyon deal double damage. And if you die in Fog Canyon and you respawn with 0 geo until you kill your shade, you have to farm in order to get money to do the double jumps to get into Fog Canyon again. So this is the everyone send me your RNG energy moment of the run.
Yeah, now don't worry though, because there's actually another charm that could pop up in addition to a minion charm, which doubles the number of minions. So we actually saw it earlier with 2 Dream Shields. Oh, good, we've got Grimchild. Okay.
Grimchild is at least one that doesn't do damage.
Yeah, the level 0 Grimchild does not actually attack yet, so she is safe. But yeah, hopefully.
All right, that's
nice.
one.
Good skip.
We're gonna go to 5 here just in case, and also show off Slug Zag with Shape of On.
Yep, looking mostly safe in this room.
All right, Fluke Nest is fine.
And looking good. Yeah.
All right, not quite out of the woodwork.
Easy.
There's some in Teacher's Archives, but we do have a bench here, so we will not be absolutely brutalized by Umas today.
Yep, the RNG played nice.
So Teacher's Archives is the place where Blue Moth Wings is absolutely required with this route.
Yep. So there's a couple of places where... Oh, that was a fun little inventory drop. There's a couple of places where you normally need either Crystal Heart or Isma's Tear. The place where Quack just entered into the Umu fight was one such example of that. With regular Monarch Wings, you're also able to do it. But after Umu, there's another section in order to actually get to Monomon, the dreamer that she needs, where you need much more than just a wings, and we'll see that. So that's where Blue Moth is going to be essential.
Oh, Glowing Womb. You really would.
But the good news, of course, is that Glowing Womb seems to be unaware that Umu is currently invincible. Yeah, so Glowing Womb is annoying mostly because it actually takes away your soul, which Quack is doing her best to save for sudden burst of damage in the vulnerability phase.
Okay, Florus, come on, we can end it this phase.
There you go.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, there we go.
Thank you, Florus Blessing.
Yep, so that was Umu. Umu is normally one of the more RNG bosses, but not nearly so bad. All right, so here's a normal 5-jump approach to Monomon. There we go.
Perfectly
Easy.
normal video game behavior here. Nothing untoward happening.
That was totally intended and natural and things.
Transcendence is a fun and good mod. There's one charm that's shown up a couple times, but unfortunately I don't have the setup to make it truly as beautiful as it should be. But there's a charm in Transcendence called Shaman Amp that increases the size of all of your spells in scaling with how much geo you have. We never pick up enough geo in this run in order to make it truly beautiful. But if you, for instance, are playing a randomizer and you happen to have like 15,000 geo on hand because you're playing a randomizer with geo rocks, which, by the way, is a thing that we can do now. We're so we're in trouble, friends. You can get full screen sized vengeful spirits, and I think that's beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, it is comical how many ways these additional charms can break the game a little bit, but it makes for a very fun playing experience.
Yeah, and while we're
now, of course, Quack got in, but she also needs to get out. So this is actually one of the tricks. It's possible to get in with a relatively precise skip, but not out without Crystal Heart or Isthmus Sphere, which is what is needed in the normal 90% run. When you have infinite jumps, however, it works out.
Oh, hi, Antigraph. I also want to take a moment here, while we're talking about how down bad the Hollow Knight community is as a whole, I would also love to talk about that little number in the top right corner of my UI. That's my lever count. That has absolutely no bearing on the run, but this is just my taking the opportunity to inform you all that we have a lever counting mod. It's called Kronk, and if you don't know that reference, look it up. And we also have a speedrun to flip all of the levers in the game called Kronk%. That one's my fault. I regret nothing. We have fun here.
It's amazing.
It is absolutely wonderful.
It is an
and
official
also,
modded speedrun.
we've also randomized the levers in this game in the randomizer. The randomizer, anything you can think of has been randomized, and then we've invented things that didn't exist so that we could randomize them as well. We really, really need the sequel.
We pushed this game to its absolute breaking point. I am no longer asking. Hello, Sprint Master. Okay, so let's talk about deepness. In the conventional any percent speedrun of Hollow Knight, you don't go through deepness. You go through an area called Queen's Gardens. Well, you go through deepness very briefly. You don't go through much of deepness. Oh, hello. You go through an area called Queen's Gardens generally that has some arenas that you get through either a very precise acid skip or oh, I can't do the damage tank here. Rip.
I was hoping you'd realize.
Yep, no, we're good. I will not be double damage tanking at 2 HP today. But you don't go through this segment of deepness that I'm in right now. And that's only a problem because in the Crystal Dash route of any percent, you pick up an item called the Lumafly Lantern that makes dark rooms illuminated. We don't have that, so I'm gonna have to do deepness in the dark here in just a second. So I'm gonna focus in. Thankfully, I have Blue Moth Wings, which lets me fudge my muscle memory here, but if I have physics-altering charms, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, a lot of this... So these rooms are some of the hardest ways to go through Dark Deep Nest because he's doing basically all of Dark Deep Nest here, from the right all the way through to Distant Village, which is where Hera is at the end. So she's going to be working her way through. She actually had that Snail Slash charm equipped earlier, but it's off now. So that can be a problem in here just for the some enemies that you want to kill. I like your blue moth strats there, Quack, making sure you don't have to touch the ground to deal with the spiders.
Yeah, so there are also some spike pits in the ground, and the thing about dark rooms is that there are no hazard respawn checkpoints in dark rooms. So if you touch spikes, even at the very end of the room, you get sent all the way back to the start. All right, we're through. Nice. Good Dark Deepness. Staff Master couldn't ruin it. And now we have all these extra wings jumps. I do still need 250 geo at the end here in order to afford the stag back home. I've actually never gotten anti-grav here. That's fine. You still need it. So there is a dev-intended secret entrance to Beasten that if you have wings, you can go through the ceiling instead of needing to sit on that bench and trigger the cutscene. That's very long and gets you, I think, beat up by those distant villagers. It's hard to say.
Yeah, the Crystal Heart route of any percent has to actually do this entire area, but with wings you can skip it, and even a single wing jump is enough there. But with Blue Moth, it's very doable.
Yeah. Technically, if I wanted to, I could have just jumped straight up into the ceiling.
Yeah.
but I do want to have like a little bit of Geo left over for the final fight, just in case we roll Shaman Amp, just to make doubles a little bit easier. In particular, there's one attack that the final boss can do. So you really want to get a double hit with Fireball, where you shoot a Fireball in the same direction as the boss is moving to double your damage, and it's a little bit finicky. And also, I am a meme speedrunner by trade, so I do not have the most practice ever with Hollow Knight being the final boss of the video game, because who has time for that? But we got our 7 levers, we got our 3 dreamers, we got our black screen.
Love that. All right.
Fine, we can benchmark to fix it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, so this is just about the final leg of the run here. Just like any percent, Quack is going to be returning to the Black Egg Temple, which is near where we started the game, and go and fight what is, the normal final boss of the game.
Yeah, everything behaves pretty normally from here on out, minus the inevitably me getting bad charms here. Millibel's actually kind of no longer helpful, but thank you for your service.
You're not going to jump 15 times in the Hollow Knight fight?
I hope to not jump 15 times in the Hollow Knight fight, especially since I don't have Blue Moth equipped anymore. I mean, I do now because Chaos, but...
But say, don't put that energy into the universe.
Okay, so there is a combination that is the famous worst combination to have against Hollow Knight that is a specific 3-charm combination. There's a charm called Steady Body that changes your physics so that you don't recoil when you nail slash, which is famous for like throwing off runners if you're not super used to it. There's Snail Slash, which, as Matt mentioned, reduces your nail damage to 1 but doubles your soul input. And then there's Fluke Nest, which is usually super useful. That's the charm that replaces your VS with a ton of flukes. Because it does do more damage. However, the Hollow Knight is immune to flukes for some reason. So if you roll those 3 specifically, you just have to shadow box the Hollow Knight for 30 seconds with terrible physics and hope for something better.
Yep, so that is what you're rooting for here, Chad, if you want to get some extra Hollow Knight fight time. One thing that's fun about this fight, too, when you enter the fight, you actually get saved to the bench that Quack passed there. Oh, nice. You got heart for a sec.
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't know if that's a UI. I don't know if that's a UI bug or not. Bench Warp and Fragile Heart, which is the charm that adds 2 extra masks, is a little bit interesting. Oh, come on. So Snail Slash overrides other...
Oh, that's so rude. Yeah, so Quack got both Unbreakable Strength, which normally increases your nail damage by 50%, and also rolled Snail Slash, which sets your nail damage to 1 and overrides that. So, yeah, it's a bit of an unfortunate combination there. She's only dealing 1 damage, even though she has Strength.
Oh, that's Quick Focus, not Anti-Grav. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so one thing that Quack is going to be trying to do during this fight is anytime the Hollow Knight is dashing is a good chance to get in a potential double hit, but it's pretty tricky to do. But mostly Quack is going to... Oh, there we go, nice. Wait, thank you for showing it off as I was explaining it, Quack. Most of the time she's going to be just trying to fit in as many fireballs as possible. The fireball is dealing 4 times as much damage as the nail most of the time. It depends on exactly which charms Quack has equipped due to Chaos mode, but most of the time it's 4 times as strong. Yeah, this is the second half of the fight here. Those pillars are dangerous. They deal double damage on the latest patch of the game. Okay, so it is not just a UI bug. Interesting. But you have the extra health. We'll take those.
Not gonna be mad about it.
Yeah, so this second phase gets a lot more dangerous because those pillars deal double damage, and there's also that attack that we saw there where the Hollow Knight simply spews lots of projectiles in a somewhat unpredictable fashion. It's relatively random from the middle. But this is the final phase here. HK has started doing a self-stabbing attack, which
Nice.
is a bit of a respite. Nicely done.
All right, that was a little scary, but no pressure. So time is as soon as the screen fully fades to black. Oh, I had King Soul, so I had spells. Nice. You want to start focusing as soon as possible to absorb the Hollow Knight, but if you have Soul and you're a little bit too fast on the draw, you accidentally spellcast there. Anyway, time.
GG's. Oh, that was awesome.
So I'm super quickly, I want to do a couple of shout outs to all the people that made these wonderful mods happen. And while I do, I want to show off one other part of Zagnite. If for some reason you are still not totally convinced to download this mod and try it out for yourself. So all I do is some shout outs. First of all, thanks so much, Asuka, for having me, and Math for hopping on and rolling around in the memes with me. But I also want to say thanks so much to the Transcendence mod developer, Pimpus Pimpinella, and the Transcendence charm artist, Sirakura, as well as the creative brain trust behind Zagnite, which is Artsy Freak, Caffeinated Composer, Cores for the Big Weaver mod, and Exempt Medic for the Zagnite Precepts mod, which I will not spoil. But there is one other person that I would like to thank, and so we're going to use that special surprise tool from before.
Yeah, so this is one more area that's been changed quite a bit. Honestly, all of City of Tears has been changed quite a bit with the Zagnite mod, and I highly recommend that you try out this skin if you play Hollow Knight and don't mind testing out different skins. Zagnite is wonderful, but this is beautiful.
But we do have Eurydice here with custom vocals lovingly supplied by Birdiest Blue, singing along to Good Riddance. I wanted to show this off because you have to see it. But yeah, that's me, everyone. Thank you so much.
Oh, that is amazing. And somebody in chat even said they're downloading this as you're speaking. So
Heck yeah.
You've got some people. But for both Quack and Math, where can they find you streaming or just in general on the worldwide internets?
Yeah. I am streaming at twitch.tv/QuacksilverPlays, where I oftentimes unpause the game in this scenario. I'm also going to be running, not this game, but Haiku the Robot at Flame Fatales in just a little bit. I'm going to be on day one of that marathon. So if you like silly things, but with a slightly more poetical twist, that's where you can find me.
Yeah, definitely go and give her a follow. Quack has wonderful content. You can find me at twitch.tv/Mathulu. I do some Hollow Knight myself and a variety of other games.
Awesome sauce. With that, chat, we have one more hydration break, and then we have our final game for the night. So sit tight, and we'll be right back with some more Express Lane. Welcome back, friends, for the final run of today's premiere episode of Express Lane. Before we get to that, I just want to mention, if you're watching on YouTube, first off, hi everybody, but make sure you press that like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, you're going to want to go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content, which this happened to be before it got to YouTube, so why not watch both? I mean, sounds like a good plan, right? Anywho, we have our final run of the night, and it is going to be Silent Hill 3 UFO Ending by Abby's Corner. So, Abby, take it away. I'm so hyped for this right now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Abby. I do a lot of horror games, including this one, which you may have seen back in February, as well as last month. I do this game a lot, especially for GDQ in general. We're doing the UFO ending. I've not done this ending. You may have seen the ending itself back as an incentive for Frost Fatales, and now I'm going to show you how you get this ending. So in 3, 2, 1... let us begin the run. So one thing that we don't deal with here is the closer. The closer is not a thing. We just wake up from the nightmare. Also, chat and Oscar, I'm going to need your assistance because we need to count things. Because in order to get this ending, we must kill 31 enemies with laser eye beams.
Oh,
So
geez.
that is a prerequisite that we need.
I'm lucky if I can count up to 2. All right, I can do this. Chat, you willing to help out? I know you will.
Indeed. So, again, we skip sort of the first, minute or so, because again, depending how the closer wants to play in the beginning of the nightmare, it takes about a minute, give or take, but we just skip that. However, we'll be around the same time because we have to actually kill enemies instead of running by them. And of course, the game really likes that the pistol is equipped. We cannot kill enemies any other way. If you kill an enemy via shooting, kicking, what have you, it doesn't count towards the total. It must be laser eyes. Also, everybody, it's bread. Isn't that nice?
That is some
Mystical bread.
that is some high quality bread right there. Not gonna lie.
Indeed. And of course, these raptors are going to multiply, and it depends if we get to kill all 3 of them or not. Usually I get 2, but a lot of the times it's like, can I please have 3? And the game's like, no. So before we hit the tongs to grab the key, we're going to unequip the gun and do the thing. And there we go. We now have the ability to shoot lasers from our eyes, because you can only shoot lasers from your eyes if the gun is unequipped and you have nothing. So, that was 2. We have 29 to go. Typically, when it comes to getting your kills, you want to kill pairs. You don't want to kill every solo enemy, otherwise it kind of takes a while. So we're going to try to find pairs and, laser them to death, because we have that power. To get that power, by the way, you must kill 3984. You must kill 333 enemies throughout your playthroughs.
But how many playthroughs is that? On average?
Well, it depends. I can do it in 2, but that's because I'm killing every single enemy
That makes sense.
that I can find, and usually playing on normal because each difficulty gives you more enemies. But you can overkill the amount in 2 playthroughs on normal, but you do have to kill everything you see, which takes about 5 hours, give or take.
Oh, geez.
Luckily, we can have beginner mode on for that, so they die a little bit faster. And that is 2 more, so that's 4. We let this guy live because he's all in his lonesome and he's just eating meat. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And then we have the 2 sandwich makers, which we don't have to worry about because we're going to end them now.
I like how they just kind of accept their fate.
And of course that one doesn't die. So that's 6. Again, there's no way to really tell that they're dead unless you know the sound cues, which sometimes you can hear and sometimes you can't. And then you might see them squirm later and then you're like, oh no. So here we go. Actually, I should have gone for the key first. Actually, it's not really a key, it's a clothes hanger, because we're going to use that to pull a ladder down. Because for some reason I get good distance here. Also, another thing that you can do is you kind of want the camera behind Heather, because apparently it makes the lasers easier. So that's 8. Who do we appreciate? Of course I was going to make that pun.
Of course. Do
So
those
now that
lasers...
we're at-
Sorry.
So now that we're at 8, we're about a fourth of the way through, which is nice. And then of course we go and get the ladder down and climb. Again, I don't do the most optimal strat here because a lot of runners will do what's called Princess Heart Skip. It's where you go out of bounds. I can do it, but I get lost and I'll just be stuck in the void for hours and it'll be like, oh, and I don't think we have time for me to be stuck in voids for hours. I could be wrong about that, but
It would make
it's
the
best not to get stuck.
Yeah, it would make the estimate of an hour or less a little bit spicier.
Yes. So we're getting some extra kills in the mall instead, because usually after you get those 8, you're usually doing Princess Heart Skip and getting out of the mall, and then finding kills elsewhere, where we'll be ending with 14 kills instead. There we go. We're going to be coming up on 2 raptors in a room, and then we're going to come upon 2 bees in a raptor to make 13, and then we're going to fight Splitworm for number 14.
Now, would you say UFO is your favorite not standard ending, or is there a different one that's your favorite?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So there's UFO ending here. Also, that was 10. But then there's UFO ending in Silent Hill Shattered Memories, which features James from Silent Hill 2 forgetting what day he's supposed to go to his couples therapy appointment, while Cheryl, the character we're playing here, spoilers, her name is actually Cheryl, and for some reason, Cheryl turns into Mira at the end, and Kaufman turns into an alien. So that one's pretty great for that reason. But this one has the song, so it's kind of like, But also Silent Hill 2 Dog Ending has Mira being the mastermind behind the whole events. So it's like, so many good choices.
Right.
And then you have to decide whether you want to hear a song with a dog barking constantly, a song about Silent Hill itself, or if you want James hiding behind a chair. So it's kind of like, Oh, wait, why did I go back in there? I already grabbed the key. Whoops. All right, so we're at 13.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to know when all the devs were sitting at a table and one of them just said, "All right, I have an idea. Dog ending." Or just
Okay, so do you want to know a fun fact about the dog ending?
absolutely.
So, for those who have seen the dog ending, you may notice that James all of a sudden starts speaking Japanese, and that is because the voice actor for James thought it was the legit ending and refused to do it. He didn't understand that there were going to be multiple endings. So that's why James is in Japanese, because the voice actor didn't want to do it.
Oh my gosh. I love
And there
that.
we go. And Splitworm is dead.
That is 14.
Hooray. So we are slowly getting there. We're almost halfway there. But because we've killed 14 enemies here, we usually don't kill anything in the subway because we need to find pairs, and a lot of the times we can't get guaranteed pairs. And also there's the chance of being hit by a train, which is kind of bad.
Yeah.
Also, there's a movie reference inside the subway. See if you can find it. Also, Minmo, everybody. Growing healthy and strong.
Oh, jeez.
And again, I am playing on 2D controls. A lot of actually almost every runner, except for one other runner, runs on 3D controls. But unfortunately, they gave me a bit of vertigo, and I was like, no, I really don't want that. So I switched to 2D controls. The other runner runs 2D controls, though he doesn't play this game very often because he's the world record holder of Silent Hill 2, which does use 2D controls, and he doesn't want to screw that up. So that's the only reason that he plays in 2D controls.
That's fair. Do the 2D and
now-
3D controls go, or are they against each other on the leaderboard, or are they separate boards?
No, it's all just one board. Although the consoles have been split because back in December, my apologies, someone discovered that every time you hit the supply button, it pauses the timer by a single frame per press. So you could basically decrease your time just by either getting a turbo controller or having a macro pressing that button every time. And so that created a bunch of shenanigans, and then we don't time the game by IGT anymore. It's now timed by an LRTA, which basically functions the same as the IGT minus the fact that the supply button glitch doesn't work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It caused quite a commotion at the time. By the way, there's the movie reference.
I missed it. Chat, I hope you saw it.
And then we're going to talk to this door, which summons dogs and a train. Fun fact, on 2D controls, depending where the dogs are and if you're auto-aiming, you can actually glitch through the platform. It has no benefit.
Wait, was that
Absolutely.
Lion King?
No.
Oh, I thought I saw Pumbaa. Never mind.
And then we're counting the garbage cans. Oh, nice. The dog hit us. Sometimes the dog can hit us up the stairs, and it's hilarious because it just pushes us into the next screen. The reason we counted the garbage cans is because on 2D controls, you kind of don't want to move the camera because it affects how Heather moves at the time. So after you get past the third garbage can, you have nothing blocking your path. There's no possibility of running into benches or another pillar or any of the other garbage cans. So you can just go right up the stairs. And of course, if one of these hits us, depending how they hit us, it's either 0.7 seconds of time loss or 4 seconds of time loss. But they were nice and didn't hit us. Also, the introduction of giant raptors. They don't stay very long.
Jeez.
You also don't want to kill the raptors in the train because unfortunately they have a very wide hitbox when lying on the ground, so it can be a little difficult to pass them. So it's like, oh dear. But now is where we get the most kills because most enemies are in pairs, which is simply fantastic. Now there is a third ending in this game that very few people are aware of, and that's because it's very difficult to get to the point where there's no speedrun board for it at all. It's called the possessed ending. What you need to do for possessed ending is you need 4,000 points by the end of the game. Kills count for 10. Also, that gives us 16. Getting hit counts for a single point, and you have to forgive the ghost in the church, which is 1,000 points, and something damage, I think, is related as well. But it's just basically at the end, instead of joking around with Douglas that everything is fine, you actually kill him instead. That's the only difference. And now we're about to hit 20. There we go. We have hit 20. Also, chat /Oscar, does anybody want to see a magical girl transformation by chance?
Always. It just looks so out of place in here, and I love it.
Okay. Well then, if that's the case, then allow me to indulge.
The first time I saw this, I lost my mind. Yep, check it. Your IAS ready?
Sexy beam shupatsu. There we go.
Fantastic.
So we're currently at 20 kills.
Beam
We have 11 left. Provided my math is correct and I've actually killed what I've needed to. So the thing about we're currently at 20 kills, which is what Heather uses. We have 11 left. Provided my math is correct and I've actually killed what I've needed. Slower, but there's more of the beam. So that is a thing. So now we're at 22, which is most excellent.
And you say you have to kill exactly 31 or at least 31?
No, you can kill over.
Use 31.
You can kill over 31. It just has to be 31 or higher.
Gotcha.
Oh my god! If it had to be 31 exact, oh boy,
No.
oh boy, that would be oh boy. That's all I'm gonna say. Now,
Like-
fun fact. There is another game that has a you need to kill X enemies to get ending, and that's Origins with bad ending. For bad ending, you need to kill 100 enemies, and there's no indication that you have killed 100 enemies. You need to keep track of it yourself.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
No, thank you.
To do the UFO ending for Silent Hill Shattered Memories, you have to call a phone number after going to the diner and then take a photograph of 13 UFOs scattered throughout the game. And there are exactly 13 UFOs, so you need to find them all and make sure that you take pictures of them.
Knowing me, I'd miss like the first one somehow because that's the kind of logic I have.
Oh, no. And then UFO ending in 2, which I feel is the weakest UFO ending because it's like an old-timey Silent Hill, like a silent film type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to use a jewel in 3 certain spots, I think is how it goes. I think. I don't recall. And then I totally don't remember how to do Homecoming's UFO ending. And I've never played Downpour. And to do Origins UFO ending, you have to play the game as normal, pick up an extra key, and then unlock the correct hotel room. And that's it. Origins UFO ending actually is probably the easiest, most comfy, most beginner-friendly Silent Hill speedrun there is, in my opinion. Because literally there's no extra thing. It's just go fast and pick up key.
Oh, yeah, that would do it. I remember playing through the very first Silent Hill and beating the game the first time. I'm like, why are you giving me this item? And I looked it up, I'm like, oh. Oh, okay.
Go.
26?
It might be 28, but I always overkill anyway because there's 6 more enemies that I have to kill to not technically lose time. Or at least because there's Murder Hallway, you see, which is 3 slurpers in a row, but you can kill 2 of them, and then Murder Hallway, quote unquote, becomes very, very pleasant and easy. There's also 2 more raptors left in the run, and then there's the 2 slurpers in the final hallway before we read the magic words to get rid of the monster in the front of Hilltop. Also, welcome to Hilltop. The great thing about UFO ending is that it cuts the game in half because we never go to Silent Hill. That's right. We don't go to Silent Hill in UFO ending.
Well, I mean, given the spoilers, the ending to the UFO ending, I can see
This
why.
this is true.
Yeah, the first time I did this one, I just started laughing. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, there we go.
Go. Now, I don't know how plausible this is, but she's just, putting a mattress down a hole so that she has cushion. I don't know how much cushion this would provide given the fact that it just fell down a giant hole and you're jumping in that hole again. So, but what do I know? I don't know anything about physics.
It's okay, most games don't either. Real talk.
True. We go into the studio, grab the rope. Fun fact, if you play this with normal riddles, there's actually puzzles that you need to solve instead of just going into a room and being done. The higher the riddle difficulty, the more puzzles there actually are. It's kind of interesting that they did it like that, because normally when you just up the difficulty, it's either, oh, boss has more health or something like that, whereas this actually changes certain strategies and whatnot. There's the last two raptors. There we go. And of course, we don't pick up the health drinks because we're not going to be running through Silent Hill. Of course, on extra new game, you would only need to pick up 3 health drinks because all you're doing is using that to recharge your stamina when running through Silent Hill, because all the bosses die ridiculously easy, and one of them goes flying for no reason at all.
You know, finely crafted video games. They've got a nice charm to them.
Indeed. And of course, we never know where Heather is tying this. She's just tying the rope to something so that she can climb down, but we don't know what it is. Because it's not the jack, because we saw it go over the jack.
Right.
And it's just like, huh, all right. And then, of course, the clean bathtub that sends us to hell. Because of course it does. It's Silent Hill.
Yeah, you don't trust bathtubs like that.
Also, why is there a bathtub in an office building? Your guess is as good as mine. Go through the door again. Oh wait, I needed to grab the thing that I actually need for a puzzle. Let's not grab things that we need, because that would be bad. I was like, I don't need to grab anything there. I don't need health drinks. Oh yeah, there's the thing I need. Oops.
I've done that. Go to a room, realize, why can't I unlock the O? Well, there's 5 minutes of my run.
Oh no.
It's meat.
Yes. It's pork liver, to be exact.
To go with that really nice looking bread we saw earlier. I'm here for it.
We're about to do some arson because, yeah, we need to unlock a door. Again, welcome to Silent Hill.
Everything is fine and normal.
Indeed. Oh no. So, we're almost done with the run because literally after we get out of the apartments and go home, it's like, huzzah. There we go. I think the only category that goes over an hour in this game actually is, and I mean on average, as I forgot to kill these two, is Extreme 10. I don't think any other run goes over an hour. It's been very optimized. Ow!
Oh, that's rude.
Sir, that was not kind. That was very not kind. And there's the last one. And then the reason Heather actually goes and spends this coin in the vending machine is because she actually wants a drink. But unfortunately, this is Silent Hill, where, no, you don't get a drink. You get a key instead.
Perfectly logical vending machine vend thing.
Yes. A perfectly normal vending machine.
Yeah. Now, what's your count? Because I might have missed one because I'm at 30 exactly.
I am at 30 exactly as well. Because these two would make 32.
Hey!
Provided I hit both of them. Sometimes, no, I didn't even hit both of them. All right. Because I also think, and this may not be true, but I think there's a shorter range with Princess Heart as well.
Okay.
because I think generally if you're doing glitchless, we never actually transform into Princess Heart. So that's a thing.
No, that makes
Also,
sense.
if I fail this and I didn't actually get all the kills, I do have a save. Just so chat doesn't get disappointed. I have a save directly at the end with the ending intact.
Sweet.
But I think we're good.
The suspense.
And we go inside. And this is time. Yay,
Hey!
Listen, something
Love
crazy
this
is
so
going
much.
on.
Also, if anybody's wondering why James is here, the first 3 Silent Hill ending or UFO endings have a chronological story. Because in Silent Hill 2's UFO ending, Harry and the aliens kidnap James.
I love this so much.
Oh, Dad, you're the coolest.
You're the coolest.
And then they show up and just blow up Silent Hill. Because of course they
Of
do.
course they do.
Now, a fun little fact, because I'm playing in Japanese, the English translation doesn't show up, but in the beginning, they're asking you, aren't you tired of UFO endings?
Never.
Exactly. So there would be English translation on the top, then there's kanji and romanji on the bottom. But because I'm playing in Japanese, we only get the kanji and romanji under it.
Oh, I love this.
Who doesn't love this?
People that aren't fun, which is not anyone in this chat, because everyone in this chat is fun and amazing. It's like, this is another situation where I would have loved to have been in the recording booth for this. Just even said in our newest world record holder, JPEG, in chat, banger credit song, I cry every time.
Yes. Everybody get your jam emotes out. Jam emotes out in chat. Do it up.
So I was mentioning to Abby's before we did this run, I was hoping that she'd be okay with closing out today's show, because what a perfect way to end the first episode of Express Lane than with this song right here.
Yeah. I tried to put as many jam emotes as I
Yes.
could, and of course, as you over-click, it'll do other emotes, and you're like, oops.
Oh, 100%. Oh, we got chat dancing now. It is a
Excellent.
dance party.
So for anybody who's confused what's going on with the lyrics, they're singing about each character in the game, is what's happening.
Is it getting like more and more nonsensical, or just whatever?
I mean, eventually they get progressively drunk.
that too.
So that is also a thing.
Oh my goodness. We have a person in chat being able to understand a bit of Japanese makes this infinitely funnier.
Oh, you should have been around on Saturday when I did a run of this, and I had Zokubun on commentary, and she sang the whole thing.
It's like my Japanese is so rusty, so it's like a couple lines here and there I can understand, but I agree with chat. Yeah, it does make this a lot funnier, especially when I can only catch a few things here and there. It's like, context, please.
I know for Heather's line, it talks about how she's a mother. Also, if you notice, Heather is voiced by Heather Morris.
Oh, that's right. love that.
So here's the drunker part.
Yes. Like Silent Hill song, everyone's saying, everybody, let's sing together, I think it says.
Yes. Yes, it does. Heather. I can't do the fast parts.
No.
I'm sorry, chat. I only know 2 people that can do the fast part, and I doubt either of them are here in this chat right now.
Oh man. Again, just them sitting at the table. It's like, all right, now that we've done this ending, I've got an idea for a song. Hear me out. Yeah.
And then just the ending. Just because.
Just why not? Oh,
But that was
heck.
Silent Hill 3 UFO ending.
I love that so much. Oh, and on that note, Hebbies, where can they find you on Twitch and the rest of the worldwide internets?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Abby's Corner. I have a podcast called Speedrunners and Coffee where I interview all your favorite speedrunners about their speedrun origins, which can be found on YouTube, Spotify, and a bunch of other places. The Twitter for that is Speedrun and Coffee, because Speedrunners and Coffee was too long for Twitter, apparently. You can find me on Twitter at Abby_Brander. You can find me on co-host at Abby's Corner. You can find my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Abby's Corner. It's where I put all my event runs up. I also have really bad film commentaries on there. And I also have an archive channel, Abby's Corner Archive on YouTube, where I post every one of my speed runs. I will be running Ill Bleed at Flame Fatales. I actually just got all the world records on the weekend.
I saw you posting them. GG's.
And I will be doing a three-way race coming up soon for my Twitch team between Schmumbler, who you would have seen last week, running Rows of Meat, and Exterior Emma, as we do every category back to back to back of Silent Hill Shattered Memories. That'll be on August 5th at 12 p.m. Eastern on Clock Tower TV. So yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, Abby's, thank you so much for being on here and closing out this first fantastic episode of Express Lane. But yeah, so, well, friends, I got bad news, like I literally just said. That's it. That wraps up the first premiere episode of Express Lane. I hope you enjoyed watching these absolutely amazing runners and their super speedy speedruns just as much as I have. But as we head to sleep percent, I just want to let you know to please tune in tomorrow for an extended episode of How to Train a Speedrunner starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to know who I am, hi, I'm Oscar424. You can find me on twitch.tv/Oscar424. You can find me on Twitter at the letter N, the number 1, and then Oscar, because Oscar424 was taken. Grr. But yeah, I hope to see all of you soon in 2 weeks. So until then, stay cozy, friends. Bye.